and brave souls who are not afraid of a good shiver, and more brave than one. Welcome to Maple Grove Cemetery and to the Brownson Center, where history does not sleep quietly, but whispers and remembers. On behalf of the Friends of Maple Grove, I'm delighted to welcome you to Short Stories from the Sèance Report, presented by members of the Horror Writers Association New York chapter. It feels only right that stories of unease, imagination, and unseen should be shared here. Cemeteries, after all, are not places of endings, but of echoes. They are libraries without walls, filled with names, lives, and unanswered questions. Tonight, those echoes find their voice through storytellers who know how to summon atmosphere, tension, and the delicious thrill of the unknown. We are especially honored to welcome this talented group of writers, journalists, novelists, short story masters who will guide us through tales meant to unsettle, enchant, and linger long after the last word is spoken. Think of this not as a reading, but as a kind of seance of its own. Words as the candle flame, imagination as the knocking at the table. This evening's program is also offered in dedication of Edward Kelleher, who's buried here. He was a screenwriter of cult horror films, a playwright, a journalist, and critic. Edward understood the power of dark stories not merely to frighten, but to reveal. His work explored fear with intelligence, wit, and heart. And it is fitting that we honor him here where memory and creativity meet, and where stories, like spirits, are never truly gone. So settle in, let the lights dim just a little in your mind, open the door you normally keep shut, and above all, enjoy. Thank you for being here, and welcome. Thank you. So first, I would like to invite up Mark Abbott, who will be our first reader. There we go.
All right, Mark.
Yeah, take it away.
Cold enough for you?
We were hoping for 4 degrees less.
Okay, I am going to read an excerpt from a story called Bodega Barry. This story is featured in an anthology called A Future for Ferals, which is a charity anthology created by Danielle McPhail. This was to help shelter cats. If you know we've all are from New York, so we know what a bodega cat is. So Bodega Barry is the story of a cat who is living in a sort of a gentrified neighborhood. Somebody's getting rid of all of the cats. And Barry is one of the last of the few that's been hidden by his owner. And in this particular excerpt, a young lady named Maya has been attacked, and Barry has a kind of an idea of who attacked her and is standing guard in the store when the real estate villain enters. Word on the street was Maya had died of a heart attack during the assault, but many did not believe that was because of her age or how healthy she was. What really made the neighborhood gossip was how Drew insisted had listed her apartment on the market within days. Drew is the real estate guy. Listed her apartment on the market within days, move-in ready and no longer rent stabilized. By the end of 2 weeks, a new tenant had moved in. Drew's reputation for buying and selling real estate around the neighborhood made him both the talk and fear of property owners. If he appeared at someone's door, chances were he was about to make some kind of offer. That was probably Lewis's thought when Drew walked in, because he wasn't known to frequent the bodegas. He stopped in infrequently to get a water or cigarettes, but that was it. When he entered, he greeted Lewis and Julio warmly, but kept goosenecking for Barry at the bottom shelves around the counter. "You lose something?" Julio asked. "No, I was just looking for, do you guys have a..." Drew spotted him near the Doritos. Barry stalked out and began yowling. "There he is. That's Barry. Henry told me all about him. He's calm now, huh? So you're still here. Your days are numbered, Cat. My brothers and I will see to it that you're disposed of. I haven't seen Henry around since Maya's death, Lewis said. He's been dealing with some property over in Manhattan for me. He should be back by next week, though. Can I get a pack of Chesterfields? You don't seem that concerned. Give us a moment. Lewis retrieved the cigarettes. When he placed them on the counter, Drew touched the top of his hand. Lewis trembled, then passed out. Lewis! Julio hurried around the corner to help him. Is he okay? Drew moved around to assist. He glanced back at Barry as he touched Julio's shoulder, and he collapsed. Get in. Two spectral demons stepped out of Drew's body and solidified. One had a maw of teeth, scales, and looked blind. The other bore wild red eyes and massive claws. They charged at Barry, forcing him to scurry. Red Eyes leapt on him, seized him by the neck, and tossed him into the stand filled with potato chips. Barry crashed through the bags, sending them across the floor. He landed on his feet, but Scales seized him and tossed him back to Red Eyes, who slashed at him, nicking him under his neck. Barry yowled and hissed. He started to rush Red Eyes, but fled around the shelf of canned goods, putting distance between them. It stopped at the far end and slashed at him, and Barry skidded to a stop and turned to retreat, but Scales blocked him. Barry tried to jump on the shelf, but Scales grabbed him by the tail and brought him down to the floor. He held him and flung him over his shoulder toward the front door. And Barry struck the glass hard and fell on his side. His legs wobbled. He stood up but fell over. Give him one more round so he understands what he's dealing with, Drew said. Scales rushed to him, grabbing Barry by the neck. It lifted him so that they were face to face and roared. Barry cried out and lashed out with his claws, scratching Scales' nose and bottom lip. The demons sizzled as his wounds blistered and smoked. Scales dropped them, and Barry turned his attention to Drew and charged. He leapt up onto his face, screaming and scratching, his claws ripping flesh. Drew immediately backed away from Julio and Luis. Barry positioned himself between them. Scales moved to Drew and re-entered him. Move, it said, and Drew put more distance between them and Barry. Red Eyes jumped over the counter and to the other side of Luis, and suddenly realized it had trapped itself. Barry jumped over the humans, landed on the demons, scratching and biting while Red Eyes backed into a tight corner, screaming in agony as its body smoked and boils formed and popped. Barry seized it by the nape of his neck. And dragged it out from the corner, then let it go. It scurried back over to the counter and jumped back inside of Drew. Scales had Julio by the ankle and tried to drag him away, and Barry went over the counter and around to cut it off, and with one hard swipe landed all of his claws across its face. It ran to Drew and jumped back inside him. Hurt, Drew ran for the back door and disappeared. Meowing, Barry ran to Luis and licked his face. Seconds passed before Luis came to and looked at Barry. What happened? Did I pass out? Luis asked. Barry meowed and continued to lick him until he sat up. Then Barry turned his attention to Julio and repeated the process. When both men were back on their feet, Barry ran to the back and found the door ajar, and his attackers were gone. Is it you? Is it you next?
Oh, it's out.
Was it out?
Oh, it's
Oh, next up, ladies and gentlemen, Alphabet.
Like it or not.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming out today, afternoon, evening. I had a problem with my printer because that's what's going on, and my printer was misbehaving, so the first page of the story will be read off my phone, and then the rest is what printed. And I don't know what version of the story this is. Just so you know, this is called The Mango Tree. It's a horror adjacent story. It's not pure horror.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I did. So unfortunately, because I have to read off my phone, I apologize ahead because I'm half blind, so that'll work well. Okay, so I'm going to give you the background. It's 1968, Palm Beach, Florida. And it's about an 11-year-old girl who barely speaks English. and has very few friends. So here you go. Here, I said, holding the flashlight up to the book, the front cover facing Tommy. The naked Botticelli Venus stared unabashedly out of the shell. At the cusp of 13, Tommy was the oldest of one of us, but he was mentally much slower than that. Tommy was the neighborhood kids said that he was retarded, which is what they called it. But he had been the first one to talk to me, the odd girl with the mismatched Goodwill clothes and the thick Italian accent. I handed him the book. Craig, his younger brother, extended his neck around Tommy's shoulder to see. Sorry, apparently it doesn't scroll. It's gonna be one of those. Anyway, so I nodded. Okay, I did. I handed him the book. Craig, his younger brother, extended his neck around Tommy's shoulders to see. Is it really full of naked pictures inside? Sandy whispered, her eyes wide. I nodded. Sandy was my neighbor, the daughter of a highly respected Florida Supreme Court judge. Her 12-year-old sister, Julie, was my age, but had already discovered boys. Apparently, this meant that she had spent all of her free time hanging around the school's playground, ogling the bare-chested creatures as they sweated and grunted through their games. At 9, Sandy was more my speed. She didn't find it peculiar that I preferred playing Tarzan to boys. They're called nudes. My mother has lots of books like this one, I said. She's a painter. She paints nudes. She paints naked people? Craig asked as he flipped slowly through the pages. She's a painter. She paints nudes. Sorry. She paints naked people then. And he said again, as he flipped slowly through the pages. Nudes, not naked people, I said. But aren't they naked? Yes, but they're called nudes, I said. Call them what you want. They're naked. N-A-K-E-D, naked. Craig insisted, repeating the word so much it began to sound foreign. Okay, Craig lacked the sweet disposition of his older brother. All right, you win. They're naked. You want to see the other books, I asked? Yeah. Shh, not so loud. Somebody might hear us. I thought you said your mother wasn't home, Tommy said. She's not, but Bill might be home. Bill? Sandy asked. My mother's boyfriend, I said. Her boyfriend? Tommy nodded. Her mother has a boyfriend, he cackled in a sing-song voice. Her mother has a boyfriend. Shut up, stupid, Craig said. Tommy shut up immediately, looking hurt. Craig, you don't have to be so mean to him, Sandy said. Sandy, Tommy, and Craig were the only kids that had shown any interest in me in the last 6 months since we had arrived here. Having a bohemian artist for a mother didn't sit too well with the wealthy, conservative occupants of Palm Beach County. She was the wild Italian painter who lived in a mansion with her young stud, a Golden Gloves champ, 12 years her junior. He was the son of her previous lover, a rich country club owner, one of their very own. The arrogance in that one act alone would have been enough to send the local tongues wagging, but she was also a painter who dared to give art classes featuring living and breathing nude models under their very noses. After all, this wasn't make love, not war California. This was 1968 Florida, and we were the local scandal. Yet my mother walked among them, impervious to their scorn. She opened the gallery and was commissioned for many portraits. Her photos appeared regularly at the local paper's society pages. Her infamy only made her into a local celebrity, and it really worked for her, but not for me. I was her daughter and a misfit, and it would be many years before I would discover some of her talent for not being afraid in a world where image was everything. To these kids, my mother's art books were the currency into their world. Maybe curiosity would lead to friendship. I thought I had a good choice as long as I had a good chance as long as they didn't meet my mother. We crowded into a small tool shed in near perfect darkness. Hey, are you guys thirsty? We have iced tea, I said. They nodded, engrossed in Reuben's Bacchus. Sandy barely acknowledged my presence, so fascinated was she by the gleefully peeing cherubs in the painting. I ran through the courtyard and dashed up the steps that led to the side door. I flew into the kitchen and skidded to a halt. There, by the sink, stood the woman who had once given me a box of bonbons marked road apples for my birthday. Then, in a spasm of guilt, had confessed that the beautifully wrapped confections were actually horse droppings, only seconds before I bit into one. The same woman who didn't consider a party complete unless she was equipped with her trusty fake bug-billed ice cubes. She was a crazy blonde with a Charo-like personality who went by many names: artist, athlete, seductress, practical joker. Mom, you're home? Of course I'm home. Where else would I be? I knew better than to answer that question. You never washed the dishes this morning. What do I have to do to get you to wash the dishes? I didn't answer that one either. I opened the refrigerator door and took out the pitcher of iced tea, and then casually made my way to the cabinet, hoping she wouldn't notice the 4 plastic tumblers I took out. But she was too quick. You have company? She asked, her eyes lighting up with interest. Just some kids I met. Nobody special. I said, please, please, please don't ask. But she did. Oh, where are they? I don't see them, she said, peering out the window. I sighed. I knew she'd asked. Now I had to find a plausible excuse to why 4 healthy kids would be playing in a dark, musty shed instead of outside in the perfect Florida sunshine. They're hiding, I said. We're playing hide and seek, I said, trying to inject the right mix of excitement and nonchalance. She looked at me skeptically and wiped her hands on the dish rag. Did she buy it? I couldn't tell. But after a few seconds, she let the matter drop. I knew why with her next sentence. Want to have some fun? She asked. Don't even think about it, Mom. Come on, it'll be great. Nope, whatever you're thinking, I'm not doing it. I said, I refuse. You don't even know what it is yet. I know that whatever it is, it will lose me friends, and I am not doing it. But I could already feel it already, that small voice way deep inside, the part of me that was her. It knocked insistently and whispered, at least see what she's got. While the other voice, the one that wanted so badly to belong and fit in and be like everyone else, that voice stood its ground and overruled the irresponsible mom voice. You're such a stump. Can you really be my daughter? She said. How could I give birth to such a timid girl? How indeed. She turned around and started loading the dishes into the dishwasher. Silence. Unbearable. The mom voice inside me said, come on, just hear her out. What could it hurt? But my rational side knew better. I would not give in, fun or no fun. I was lonely and tired of always being the outside odd girl. I wanted friends. I wanted to be like everyone else, but I wasn't. I knew it, and my mom voice knew it too. I was too curious to be subdued so easily. So it forced its way to the surface and made me say it. All right, let's hear it. No promises, I said. My mother's face lit up with anticipation, so much that it hurt to see it. It would be good, I could tell. Whatever she was thinking was going to be very special, and it would lose me the 3 in the shed. I was certain of it. I sighed in surrender and let her tell me. Okay, she told me. No, I said. No? Nope, not doing it, I said. It was too much. It was brazen even by my mother's standards. My reputation would be sealed if I went through with this. Here, at this very moment, I was making my stand. I would resist her allure, even though the part of me that was her shouted wildly to be let out. I would not give in this time. I was going to be like everybody else. I was determined. I won't change my mind. I turned and left with the drinks without a second thought, sure in my decision. I opened the door to the shed and startled the 3 into dropping one of the books, scaring them even more. Relax, it's just me. We have to go outside my mother's home. What? What do we do now? Julie squeaked in panic. Nothing. We just leave the books here and just go out. I'll put them back later. Won't your mother find them? Won't you get in trouble? Tommy asked. No, she never even comes in here. I didn't add that she wouldn't have cared or been shocked. She would have been pleased by my budding interest in art. I couldn't explain our disparate ways of thinking to civilians. They had no point of reference. We filed out, one by one, squinting in the noonday sun. Once in the courtyard, we stared at each other. What now, I wondered. Their one reason for being here had just evaporated. Would they leave? I would have. They shuffled to their feet as they looked around. I desperately tried to think of something to hold them there. Why didn't we climb that tree there? I looked to see where Craig was pointing. The mango tree. The mango tree, the beautiful tree, stood tall, almost 3 stories high. Its lush green leaves formed a graceful canopy under which I had sat many times, availing myself to the fruit and the shade. I loved that tree irrationally. I had only recently tasted its fruits for the first time. I regularly climbed the oak on our property, but the mango tree was really special. It would have been ungrateful not to climb the very tree that yielded such succulent fruit so willingly. Besides, as large as it was, it appeared delicate. I wasn't sure it would support my weight, and I didn't want to break a limb, mine or the tree's. I'm not allowed to, I lied. They began to shuffle again. Then Sandy came to the rescue. Why don't I go get my pogo stick? We could play tag with it. For months I had heard the distinctive boink, boink, boink of the stick hitting the pavement. I couldn't wait to try it out. That's a great idea, Craig said. Tommy nodded vigorously in agreement. Back in a jiff. A few minutes later, she was back with the pogo stick in one hand and the latest toy craze of that year, the hoppity hop, in the other. The large round rubber ball with a handle on one side meant to be ridden Bronco style. Craig picked up the pogo stick while Sandy generously let Tommy have the first run on her hoppity hop. Within minutes, we were chasing each other around like jackrabbits, playing tag, using the toys and occasionally forgetting about tag altogether. From the corner of my eye, I saw my mother watching from the window and prayed she wouldn't come out and spoil the fun. We stopped for a minute to take a breather. Was that your mom at the window? Craig asked, with an odd glint in his eye. Yep, come on, let's go again, I said. Craig whispered something to Tommy, making him snicker. What? Nothing. What? Nothing. It's just something my dad said. I waited. Craig shrugged and continued. He said your mom was a man-eater. I looked at Craig, then Tommy, and Sandy. Sandy was looking away. I wasn't even sure what a man-eater was, but it didn't really sound good. Tommy piped in. Yeah, and a whore. I didn't hear the rest. I couldn't. In fact, because the hot flush that had risen and spread through my face had somehow muffled my hearing, as if wads of cotton had magically sprouted in my ears. Whore, that word I knew. My dad says it's too bad your mother's living here. As if a faucet had been turned on, Craig continued, unable to stop himself. He regurgitated all the talk that had been floating around about my mother. He seemed unsure about some of the terms, but I could see his eyes turn defiant as he added, and my mother said that she felt sorry for you. I stared at him, unable to speak. Sandy looked intently at her feet, as if they were the most interesting things she had ever seen. So I was the talk of the town, too. My eyes turned hot and cautious. I wanted to be anywhere else. Anywhere. A small voice tapped at the back of my skull. Don't you think it's time you let me out? It demanded, and I thought, for this one time, it was. I took a deep breath. Oh, that stuff is all made up, but I'll tell you what is true. My mother is very special, in a way that your dad and mom don't know, I said, daring them. Oh yeah? How? Craig asked. I can't really tell you. I promise never to tell. I could see their interest growing. Oh, what little fools they were. The candy sparkled brightly in front of them, and I led them merrily down my road. I promised, I said. Come on, friends tell each other everything, Sandy said. Yeah, right, friends. Okay, but you must promise never to tell a soul, I said. They all readily agreed. No, you have to promise me right now, I said urgently. Okay, we promise, Craig said. They all nodded in agreement. Now, what is it? I leaned in and whispered, my mother is a witch. Craig leaned back and cackled. A witch? Sure. They all began to laugh. I looked hurt. No, really, she's a real witch. But she only turns into one when someone says the magic word. I glanced at the kitchen window. My mother was gone. Sure, of course, Craig sneered. The magic word. And what would that word be? I hesitated, pretending to be unsure. Then I sighed in defeat. I leaned in again and said, flower. They all looked at me in silence for a second, and Craig then shouted as loud as he could manage, flower! silence. Then, from above us, an insane shriek descended, part cackle, part hyena. We looked up startled. There, on the balcony, next to the mango tree, stood a frightful apparition. The figure was cloaked in a black toga, hunched over to allow for a hump that stuck out through the ripped black cloak. I could see the long talon-like fingers from here. The figure swayed from side to side as it continued its demented screeching. The unnaturally blanched face was marked by eyes so dark that they seemed abnormally oversized. Dark gaps flashed where some of the teeth should be, and its blood-red lips stood out in stark contrast to the pale face. She continued her manic screeching, waving her arms in mock fury. I turned towards my friends. Their mouths hung open in stunned horror as their eyes bulged. I had the impression if they could, their eyeballs would have taken off and left their shocked owners behind. I turned back towards the spectacle that was my mother. She continued her scene flawlessly. Then, perhaps spurred on by her audience's stunned reaction, she did the most remarkable thing. She jumped up to the balcony edge and with a flourish, leaped off the balcony edge onto the mango tree. Grabbing hold of one of the branches, once secure, she began swaying to and fro, all the while continuing her demented cackle. I turned back around. I was alone. My former friends had fled in terror. I knew, without a doubt, that I would never see them again, and that our reputation was now forever sealed. I looked up to where my mother was, now busily trying to figure out how to get off the tree. With equal parts amazement and wonder, and yes, something unfamiliar, pride. I smiled. What did I know? I was my mother's daughter after all. Thank you very much. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Actually, I am, but this story that I have is so long, I'm thinking I should let Amy go first and I'll go last.
Oh, if you want, okay.
Yeah, I think that might work. Yeah.
What did you say?
I'm gonna let Amy go next, because my story is kind of long.
Okay.
Amy Greck, did I get it right?
Yes, you did.
Is our newest member of Sèance Report. Amy, yay!
Amy has published in everything. She writes and publishes stories, I don't know, 60 a year. Yeah, she is.
And she does at least one reading a week.
So very
yeah.
very active imagination. I'm doing a reading next week already. In
See?
Brooklyn.
What did I say?
Sunday bar, yes. Okay, hi everyone. I'll be reading from my poetry chapbook, A Shadow of Your Former Self, published by Ellen Buddha Press. I have copies available over there, and I also have copies of 2 anthologies published by Angry Gable Press that I have poetry in. So I'll start with the title poem. Rich or poor, you never know what's in store. The virus doesn't discriminate. It's the cause of great debate. Thousands of people won't survive. What a time to be alive. How best to prevent the spread and limit the number of dead. Social distance, some resistance, gone tomorrow or here to stay. It's impossible to say. So close yet so far, 6 feet apart, breaks your heart. Wear a mask is a sign of respect, one less person to infect. Dreams deferred, undeterred, you forge ahead, not better off dead. COVID-19 antibody test causes civil unrest. Negative results, you're in the clear, one less thing to fear. If antibodies are present, you resent self-imposed quarantine. Endless Zoom calls, so mentally draining. You aren't the only one complaining. This new normal seems anything but. You carry on no matter what. Ensconced in a protective bubble, you hoard supplies, hoping to avoid trouble. Amazon, FedEx, and UPS provide contactless delivery, an endless onslaught of essentials, so much untapped potential. The struggle is real, you don't know exactly how to feel. Some days you're perfectly content streaming, Disney Plus, HBO, Hulu, Netflix, Prime Video, Showtime, Shudder, so sublime. Other days you wake up screaming, Order takeout with reckless abandon. Thai for lunch from your favorite place. Sushi for dinner, such an expensive disgrace. You spend hours texting friends. Will this mindless boredom ever end? Weeks pass and you're scrambling to pay rent. An unexpected email from the head of talent at the creative firm where you had a cushy job. Notice that all projects are on hold, catches you off guard. Sometimes the world can be so cold. As a consultant, you didn't need to leave your Brooklyn apartment to make a buck. Talk about dumb luck. A shadow of your former self. Suddenly, you're without wealth. Your finances have become a house of cards. Now you're left rummaging through shards. Lost in a momentary state of panic until you realize you were hired as a W-2 employee. That makes you eligible for unemployment. Apply is something you quickly do. You discover too, due to COVID-19, that you may qualify for an additional $600 per week. You shriek with joy. The pandemic, rife with strife, won't destroy your quality of life, or so it seems. You still have plenty of hopes and dreams. And I'll read a few more. Thank you. This is called Pandemic Proverb. Sometimes the only way out is through. On the other side waits a better you.
Huh. Very nice.
Thank you. And a few more, because as you can see, they're pretty quick.
You have any limericks?
Sorry?
No.
No,
I
they're
thought you were
quick.
gonna read a limerick if you
They're
said
quick.
they're
They're fast. Okay, and this poem I'm going to read, Machine Gun Latte, I forgot to mention. I'm a 2-time Pushcart nominee.
Yeah.
Thank you. Once for poetry and once for short fiction. So this is my Pushcart nominated poem, Machine Gun Latte. Poised and ready, a tall, lean National Guard soldier dressed in full camouflage regalia stands at attention on the main concourse of Penn Station in New York City. In his right hand he clutches a latte, frothy and warm, in a white Starbucks cup. His left hand hovers above a machine gun slung over his shoulder, cold, commanding, sleek, and menacing. His trigger finger twitches, roused by a jolt of caffeine, fuel for the fight. And this one is more somber. It's called A Trick of the Light. A trick of the light gave me a fright on a hot summer's night. With the living room of my apartment pitch black, I nearly had a heart attack when a luminous white spear the size of an orange did appear, hovering near the window. The ephemeral orb held my gaze. Oh, did it amaze. I had just returned from Long Island where my father lay in the hospital in dire need of critical care with the most grim prognosis, pulmonary fibrosis. It quickly became clear his end was near. As a full-time freelancer, I couldn't stay in his hour of need, an unfortunate victim of corporate greed. My clients were only so understanding before they became ruthless and demanding. Soon to be out of a job, much to my dismay, back to Brooklyn I went. I did resent the time I could have spent with Dad, fretted away, in favor of relentless bills I had to pay. So many things I wanted to say, kindness unspoken, my heart irrevocably broken. That brilliant ball of lights provided a brief glimmer of delight. Somehow I knew it was my father's light, so sublime. He passed away the very next day. I wanted to grieve, wanted to believe he had gone to a better place, peaceful and pain-free, devoid of mortal misery. I expressed my gratitude for the insightful platitudes he often shared, always quick to show he cared. Thank you. And I'll do a 6-word micro-flash short story. I thought it was in here, but I haven't memorized, so I'll just do it that way. It's called Hungry for More. Cannibal. Hungry for more. Inquire within. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, everyone.
I like that.
And as I said, I have books available if you like what you heard.
And she'll sign them.
I will, yes, thank you. Thank you, yes.
And Loretta is last.
Hi, I'm Loretta Campbell, and the thing I want to ask our very devoted Helen is how much time do we have for this? Because I have a small point. Okay, because that's what I was thinking, and everybody's like hustling.
We do have a giveaway at the end, so don't run out. That she doesn't know.
Oh, okay. All right, so, this is on my cell phone, and the sucker is looking pretty good, so I have hope. All right, so the title of the short story is The Conductor is a Shadow. Wait while I do an inhibitor test. I pull up the bottle of holy water from my bag and sprinkle some over the threshold. The floor catches fire, as I thought it would. Sophia stamps out the flames and unbuckles her sheath on her sword. Mine is already unbuckled. There is no other sound coming from inside. Now we do routine checks of our uniforms, flashlights, equipment, weapons, ropes, hatchets, rags, and miniature computer system. Not to mention my flask of excellent Kentucky bourbon. While we may carry some of the same tools as crusaders, we are not like those sadomasochists. They hunted and killed innocent people, but we hunt and exterminate real monsters. Things that go bump in the night. If you know, you know. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Sophia quotes from a visit from St. Nicholas as we step into the shadowy space. Not even a sister from the hood, I add, and raise my fist in the power to the people salute. Sophia chuckles. We open the thick front door. Although utilities have recently been turned on, the lights flicker dimly. The two of us walk cautiously through the deep lobby of the long-abandoned Shad and Doe Bank, lighting our way as we go. A hall-long mirror spreads our identical images. We are the kind of twins that make people stop and check their glasses and blink really hard. Only to my mind, Sophia is the beautiful one. She's more curvaceous than I am, heftier boobs, bouncier hips. We're both 5'10". Actually, I'm 5'10" and 3/4, whatever that comes to, and burnt orange in color. Her locks hang to her shoulders, raven-colored and curling. My naps, on the other hand, have succumbed to the stress of the job. My hair is brittle and sparse in places, plus it's graying slightly, so I keep it cut close to my head. I call it practical cute. The seam lights in our uniforms glow. In the mirror, we look like radioactive marshmallows. Surrounding us are sputtering lights and hissing radiators. The sound is comforting. Harlem radiator heat. Is there anything better? Or life-saving, because outside the weather is Antarctica with homicidal intent. Thank God in the New York City Building Department for heat, I chirp. Why was it turned back on? And the lights and the strobe lights, Sophia asks. I shrug in response because there's no answer yet. I play my flashlight over the granite floor in amazement. It looks brand new. Yeah, large open space, large open heated space, clean, no homeless. People walk in, nobody walked out. Sophia squats on the floor hoping to see signs of life. No signs of rats, bugs, nothing. Maybe the homeless people are having the annual Christmas feast of rats and water bugs, I suggest. They had to clean up the place for company. Ever logical, Sophia doesn't appreciate my morbid sense of humor. Right, and they cleaned up before and after. No tables, no chairs. Did they eat the garbage bags and the utensils? Sister mine, we are here to find out the answer to these and many other questions. Woe unto those who block our paths, for the stench envelops us. Like a truck full of dead hogs in summer heat, one of the locals called it. The description is inadequate. I switch on my oxygen mask to stop the vomit in my throat. Sophia isn't quick enough, and throw up spills down the front of her uniform. As I'm helping her clean herself up, a rope falls onto my shoulder. Reflex makes me pick it up. It's sticky, and it's all I can do to get it off my gloves. When another rope shoots out toward me, what the hell? I dodge it, pushing Sophia out of the way. What the hell? A man's voice repeats in a guttural drawl. Out of the semi-darkness, what looks like a pipe cleaner covered in a thick coat of rust crawls toward us. Then another one, and 2 or 3 more. The pipe cleaners stop abruptly when I shine the light on them. As I turn the brightness up, I have another reason to vomit. Quivering in the semi-darkness is a spider the size of a van. The pipe cleaners are its limbs. It has the head and torso of a man with numerous eyes. The top of the head has stringy hair that hangs to its wide shoulders. One of its many limbs has a diamond-studded watch on it that ticks softly. The abdomen pulsates rhythmically in slow, deep breaths as it glides toward me. Its teeth are pointed and protrude slightly from the mouth. It seems to be chomping on something, but I can't see what it is. I must have been staring because the next thing I hear is Sophia screaming, "Spook, don't let it bite you." The thing turns in mid-steps and looks at her with all its eyes. Something in that movement breaks the spell that it put me under, or that I put myself under. I aim at the spider thing, and just as my video recorder switches on loudly, the sound of the device gets the thing's attention again, and it turns right into the 2 shots that I fire into its head. Big Bug plops to the floor with blood spurting out of its wounds, splattering Sophia and me. Something thuds out of its mouth, and little baby spiders scurry from it. After a few beats, I walk over to inspect Insect Man. Each eye is frozen and staring in a different direction. Blue. What? Sophia walks around it, kicking at various legs to make sure none of them moves. Its eyes are blue, kind of like a deep lapis lazuli. Never mind making it sound like jewelry, Spook. I saw something drop out of its mouth. Sophia looks around. Found it. She holds up a bloody sneaker with half a human foot inside. Definitely not jewelry, I add. Well, whatever it was, or is, it eats people. How many people have gone missing in here, I ask her. 10 and a few pets, as she gets out the net, readying Super Spider for the Black Mariah outside. We need to find out if he, I nod at the corpse as I tie up the end, ate them all. If so, there must be many body parts or something. Sophia is cut off mid-sentence when the strobe lights go out. Hell, I curse out inadequate technology once again. I don't need this monster and darkness. The smell in the room worsens and is accompanied by a shuffling sound, a gradual pounding on the vast cement floor. After a few seconds, the lights power back on. Here are the missing people, more or less. Marching toward us are the mutated versions of New Yorkers of various species. Rat heads with human bodies, half water bug, half human people, cats with numerous bloodshot eyes and alligator parts. One of them, a pigeon person, has Christmas ornaments trailing from its legs. All of them seem to be smacking their lips and drooling. My instinct tells me that we're the dinner bell from the Pavlov's dog experiment. For the second time, I am grateful for the video recording mechanism on our suits. Words and time would fail me if I had to describe the unfortunate advancing on us. I throw my hatchet into the back of one of them. It squeals and falls to the floor. The creatures stop, slightly curious about the death throes of their comrade, then keep coming. My sister and I stand side by side, draw our guns and cock them, and again the freaks stop. Oh, they understand firepower all right, I joke. It's a relief to see something can slow them down, but I don't want to waste any more ammunition, and I don't want to die as a meal. We have a specimen for now. We can come back later for more with an arsenal. I begrudgingly take out my flask and drench the floor in front of them. Spook, oh no, you said that you weren't. You said that, why do you even have that? Sophia stammers. Focus, I snap, and point to the onslaught of horrors. I put my visor down, take the matches from my back pocket and light one. Once I toss it onto the floor, the flames zip into the mass of unnatural flesh standing several feet in front of us. It catches most of them before they can get away. Their flaming bodies ignite the others. Within seconds, there is a mass inferno running away from us. I take my end of the net. Our job is done for today. Now our most important job is to stay alive in the bodies that we were born with. The two of us hoist Spider Monster out into the cold night. We padlock the lobby door. To be on the safe side, I sprinkled it with holy water. Keep those monsters imprisoned in here until we return with reinforcements. The Shadow, as New Yorkers call it, is located on Park Avenue and West 130th Street. It hadn't started out as a den of horrors. For almost 2 centuries, it had become one of the most powerful banking institutions in the country. When scandal struck, it struck hard. During the Christmas Eve of 1970, the chewed up bodies of 6 employees were found in the sub-basement of the building. For weeks, the bank executives managed to keep the secret from their other employees and the press. Then someone leaked it, and police and federal investigations bloodied the bank's once pristine reputation. The end result was that the remaining employees fled, customers withdrew their money, and the bank closed. The neighborhood survived even though it had relied heavily on the bank. As the years went by, the troubles of New York City supplanted any problems caused by the closing of the Shadow. The area, much like the rest of the communities in Harlem, was ravaged by crime, government-sanctioned drug dealers, and dangerous or inadequate policing. Whether it was gentrification or plain good luck, the building was spared the construction craze plaguing most of the city. With its iron-barred windows, it remained as untouched as any natural mountain. Then something changed. A few months ago, residents reported seeing weird-looking graphics around the exterior walls of the building, loudly visible by day and glowing at night. Initially, they took the images to be graffiti drawn by gangs who sometimes attacked abandoned buildings or, sadly, the homeless people who drifted into them. The latter were never seen again. Leaving the shadow again, at least not by any of the residents of the neighborhood. Inexplicably, within hours of the entry of the unfortunate people, the exterior of the building would be blank, graffiti-free. Folks in the community simply reported the fact to the authorities because they had no identification for any of these individuals. Someone entered and wasn't seen coming out. Sketchy information and vague descriptions caused a slow response from the police. Despite these reports, rumors began to circulate that a realty company was interested in the Shadow. Sure enough, two young men sauntered onto the block one late afternoon. Residents peered cautiously out of their windows at these tourists. Described by some of them as rich white bread suits, the men looked nothing like the multi-ethnic working class folks of the community. These walked along like they owned it, looking at their watches, another neighbor grumbled. They went into the building carrying large boxes and locked the door behind them. A few hours later, neighbors reported screams like something from a drive-by. Police officers had to blow the lock off to enter. By that time, the screams had stopped. An extensive search of the bank yielded nothing. One of the cops complained that he had never seen so many rats and spiders in his life. The upshot was a team of exterminators and cleaners worked inside it for a day, courtesy of New York City. That was the last time the two men were ever seen. They had not been reported missing, and no one showed any interest. A cheap padlock was affixed to the door. After that, all was quiet. It wasn't all, though. More homeless people broke the lock and disappeared into the bank. There were more screams over several weeks. Each time the police were slower to respond, if at all. Weeks later, a stench thundered out of the shadow into the block like a wrecking ball. The force of it kept people from sleeping. The whole community reported the smell to Consolidated Edison. Fire inspectors came out in force. The entire block was off limits for a few days while they searched for the source of the stink. They found nothing. After assuring the residents that there was no danger and that the smell was just that, an odor, the inspectors departed. As if to prove the officials somewhat right, the reeking stopped. Still, people were frightened. There was talk of evil in the shadow, horrible screams, people disappearing. It was too much. Folks there no longer felt the police would be useful or even concerned. They contacted the Vatican. The Holy See assigned the case to the Council 111, whose mission it is to seek and destroy Satan's ambassadors on earth. It has trained operatives for centuries around the world. The Council 111 prides itself on matching the expertise of the agents to the situation. This is how my sister, Dr. Sophia Hardison, Joyner, and I, Captain Sybil Hardison, were assigned to the case. We grew up 10 blocks from the shadow. The middle of Harlem is in our DNA. Our sirens blaring, we race with the body to the city morgue. Benny Shee, the chief coroner, and his assistant April are waiting for us in his autopsy room. Both are fully enveloped in surgical caps, masks, gloves, and scrubs. Hers are a bright blue with a nameplate in neon red letters. Her green rubber boots look worn, but still serviceable. One of the few American Samoans to work in the hospital, she's always worked in the morgue. People, myself included, wonder why a shy woman like April chose this job. I'm guessing that she's kind of like that Mighty Mouse cartoon character, small stature, big heart. Hers is the classic Pacific Islander complexion of perfect and clear wheat brown. Her waist-length hair is always worn in a ponytail down her back, and her sable eyes are always encased in thick glasses. She's not short, but at 5'6", she's a shrimp next to 6-foot Benny. As ever, Benny is wearing transparent scrubs. This shows off his gray pinstripe Brooks Brothers suit. It's bespoke because our Benny has generous proportions, width-wise. His black silk shirt is unbuttoned at the collar, no tie. This is his dress casual because it's Friday look. Still, he wears his usual trademark. A lavender silk square drapes itself over his jacket pocket. Probably is sprinkled with Old Spice, as is Benny. His pants are stuffed into Ralph Lauren rubber boots. Dr. Shee's marine haircut, beard, and mustache are neatly trimmed by graying around the temples. I've known him for 15 years and never seen anything else about him age. He swears his wife is his fountain of youth. Marriage keeps you young, Spook, he says to me all the time, too many times. You should try it. Not today. We'll be too busy for him to fix me up with yet another of his colleagues. Our Benny is Chinese and a fifth-generation New Yorker from the Upper West Side. Smart and tough, not much rattles him. We dump the body on the slab. Now there's something you don't see every day, he says, unwrapping human creepy crawler. Yeah, the chromosomes seem to have been fused together, I suggest. No, I mean a Cartier balloon blur. He points to the wristwatch on one of the thing's wire-sprouting arms. Constant fashionista, Benny is impressed with the sartorial acumen of the mutant. Neither Sophia nor I is interested in the timepiece, so we see nothing and we hear nothing when Benny palms it with his handkerchief. April pretends to cough and look away as he's putting it into his pants pocket. All the while, Benny is contemplating the specimen in complete silence. Benny, does anything about this specimen strike you as odd? I emphasize the last word. You have brought worse to me. He holds out a hand for April to place a scalpel into. Sophia's glare has no effect on him because he's fixated on the bug du jour. I saw a movie about something like this, he enlightens us cheerfully. A guy turned into a fly and then into an iron rod. Sometimes Benny leaves the room mentally, and it takes a few carefully chosen words to get him back. Military terms work wonders on him because once a Marine, always a Marine. Thankfully, the Council 111 coordinates with the U.S. Armed Forces. Semper Fi, I announce. Hoorah! Benny snaps into attention. I continue. Marine, we need to know what we're dealing with here. What caused this man to mutate into a spider? Right, Captain Hardison, he salutes. I'll have it for you by Monday morning. Carry on, I nod. April cough giggles. She likes Benny, but even she knows he can get up in his head sometimes. Still, the timeline is fine with me. Some cases are emergencies, some are not. We have our sample, no mutants are roaming the streets devouring humans, everything is everything. Sophia and I are walking out of the room when we overhear Benny about how an 8-limbed creature should have 8 watches. I drive my sister home to her family. See you tomorrow, she waves as we get out of the car. Merry Christmas Eve. Yep. I give her a thumbs up. I'm proud of myself for buying gift cards this year and show my gratitude to me by taking myself to my favorite watering hole. That's a bar, the Fledgling, which I really love. It's near the old Polo Grounds on West 155th Street. There are 2 things about it that make it an essential part of my life. First, the bartender is ex-Council 111 and gives us offices and enlisted free drinks. I usually go around closing time and have a drink or 4. Second, I let him offer to take me home. Over time, the rides have become overnights, casual but fun. The following Monday, I awake to the clanging of garbage cans accompanied by hip hell-hop music. I throw on a heavy coat and my mom's old-fashioned galoshes. I get what remains of a 5th of bourbon and 2 beer mugs from the kitchen counter and take all of it as a request to the sanitation workers to turn off the noise. Miss, we can't take this, one of them says as he grabs a mug. I pour liberally and take a little for the hair of the dog myself. He swigs down half of his immediately. I wait until both of them have imbibed. It's our little secret. But, I add in a stage whisper, if you turn that back on, I'll report you to the authorities for drinking on the job. He's about to say when his buddy takes the bottle and cuts him off. Shut up, Daniel. This is some good stuff. You don't want it? I'll drink it. Daniel has a change of heart and a mellow peace breaks out between them. I go back to bed where the ensuing silence lulls me to sleep until the bartender wakes me up. Hours later, showered and dressed warmly, I go to retrieve my uniform from the Council 111 dry cleaners. Once again, they have restored the immaculate to my gore-stained garment. Inside the changing room, I whistle as I suit up in my frost white gear, aviator glasses, and black leather bomber jacket. My regulation Army boots have been shined to a twinkling gloss and resoled no less. I stow my hip flask next to my heart. With pep in my step, I go to the morgue to meet Sophia. As I approach the building, I see an exact copy of me pacing the outer lobby. Without our uniforms, we're identical twins. In uniform, we're reverse Oreo twins. So did you have a nice weekend? Sophia eyes me closely. Why are you looking at me like that? I frown in response as we walk into the reception area. Because your eyes are very bright and your breath smells like mints. Well, you know, life and stuff like that. Spook, we were expecting you. It was Christmas. She has that hurt look on her face that I truly hate to cause. Did I forget about Christmas again? Oh, sorry, baby sis. I'm so sorry, but I don't finish the sentence. The smell is back like it has become liquid and is pouring onto my skin. Sophia starts gagging again. That's when I notice the lobby is empty. No security guard, no receptionist, no one waiting for the elevator. Just us and the stench. I was going to mention it to you, Sophia points to the lobby and gasps between swallowing, but I was, save your breath, we can argue later. Could be we're too early for folks are at lunch, Sophia stammers, finally managing to control her nausea. I shake my head. Everybody? No, Benny would have said something. Besides, the office hours are posted. I lean over the reception desk. I'm not sure if I expect to see a body or someone kneeling. The fact is, it's unstaffed, makes me wary. I'll check the monitor. Sophia jumps over the counter. Within seconds, she reports, the camera on the morgue is offline. I walk over to the stairs and head down. We have to see what's up with Benny. Sophia follows. Maybe it isn't an emergency, but we aren't getting caught in an elevator if there is a problem. The morgue hallway is bumper to bumper corpses on stretchers. Their toe tags dangle like accessories. No living being in attendance. Closed office doors. Benny, I call. You here? All the lights are on, but there is no answer. Anybody? Again, no answer. Face. I order Sophia and point to the office doors. Roger that. Sophia pulls the shield on her helmet down and clicks on her monitor. Gun in hand, she moves in the opposite direction from the morgue. Making sure the doors are unlocked, she begins sweeping the offices. I pull out both my guns and aim one to my right and the other left and proceed to the autopsy room. It's the only door that's open. The lights are on inside, and I see the human spider on the floor with his belly split from his throat to crotch. His organs are neatly placed on the scale to be weighed. His face is placid, and his eyes are open, but it looks like body parts are sticking out of a bucket in the sink. The blank screen of the video recorder spasms with static. Surgical equipment litters the floor. Benny, you here? I really want him to answer. Hoping that Sophia has found something. Anything where you are? I ask over the monitor. Nothing so far. Half-eaten breakfast on a few desks, computers with games on them. You? She continues. On the helmet monitor, I show her the mess and clutter that I'm looking at. Okay, I'm coming to the autopsy room, she says, and I hear footsteps running, but not Sophia's, it turns out. Oh, wow, Benny rushes in, out of breath. I left the monitor offline. What? He says, giving me a wide-eyed look. Where were you? I'm relieved and annoyed. Yeah, Sophia adds, walking in quickly behind him. She puts her gun in her holster, but I don't holster mine. That really gets Benny's attention. He speeds through the explanation. Impromptu fire drill. I'm one of the fire wardens. The entire building is empty. Everybody is on the side street. Look at this room. We thought you were hurt or something. I wave my arms like a train conductor and a gun in each hand. Oh my God, I must have knocked stuff over, he shrugs. Plus, the smell in the empty lobby is peeling the marble. I am now more relieved than annoyed, but I press the point. This is a morgue. He looks chagrined, as if we are slow learners, flinging his hat and coat over on the coat rack. It's cold out there, and the smell is because we shut off some of the air vents. Turning his attention to the human bugs, sorry dude, let's put you in order. He lifts the creature as handily as he did days before and places it on the operating table. Better restart this sucker. He grabs the monitor. It's old and starts sputtering sometimes, especially if I'm not talking to it. I meant to get this done. Then he points to the mutant before the weekend, but one of my staff went into labor. He starts his bust off. Although Sophia and I are glad he's okay, neither of us wants these details. Well, we'll leave you to it, Benny. I call over my shoulder as we head for the door. Yeah, April should be back in any minute, he responds, accompanied by a chorus of metal cutting bone. A second later, as I'm about to holster my guns, Benny yells, "What the hell?" We turn to see dozens of tiny spiders flying out of the corpse's head and onto Benny. Small though they are, their bites into his face draw sizable amounts of blood. Screaming in panic, in pain, he drops the saw. It slices into his thigh and he falls down, rolling around, making it difficult for the two of us to get to him. Complicating matters more, the closer we get to him, the more the spiders jump at us. Plus, the buzzsaw is jerking around on the floor. Our uniforms are protection against the bugs on our bodies, but they are trying to get into our helmets. I feel them rolling down my sleeves as they slide in Benny's blood. "My eyes," Benny screams. His face is covered in spiders, and he's working his tongue, trying to get them out of his mouth. Suddenly, more footsteps are heard running down the hall. Dr. Shi, we're coming," April calls. Leading a group of her coworkers, she rushes into the room. The sight of Benny covered in spiders and blood stops most of them in their tracks. "Oh my God, what is it? What happened to him?" one of them yells. "Get out," I shout. "Close the door." "But Dr. Shi," April pleads, moving forward. "You can't help him if you stay in here. Get everyone out of the building." "Now," I roar at the top of my voice, so I can be heard over Benny's screams. April herds her colleagues out of the door seconds before the flying spiders reach it. Sophia snatches Benny's coat from the rack and tries to cover him with it, but it's difficult for him to get him to stay still. "Spook, get the fire extinguisher," she shouts. I duck under the arc of these insects, grab it, and hose them out of existence. Then I rip the plug on the buzzsaw from the wall. "Close your mouth," she orders. He complies with such force that I hear one of his teeth crack. I see the color in his lips drain as he presses them together very hard. Sophia lifts the coat and I alternate between dousing him and the skull, which is now dribbling spiders. When I get the ones attacking Benny under control, I just shove the hose inside the creature's head and let it flow. We help Benny onto an empty slab. Spiders, foam, and blood plaster his body. "We're here, Benny," Sophia soothes as she cuts away his pants. I glance down and see that his thigh has been cut to the bone. Sophia washes out the wound with saline solution carefully, but Benny yelps in pain. "I'm sorry, Benny," Sophia apologizes. Try to talk now." "It's okay, Dr. Hardison," he says slowly. "It just hurts real bad." What catches my ear here is that Benny never calls Sophia by her professional name unless something horrible has happened. Trump's election, COVID, events like that make him address her differently. The last few weeks certainly compared to those catastrophes. Meanwhile, I'm plopping dead spiders into specimen jars. I flush some down the lab sink and begin mopping up the blood. As I'm multitasking, I look over and see Sophia trying to get my attention. She has rolled Benny over on his side to cut off more of his clothing. His back is to her. Facing me, she inclines her head slightly toward him. I understand what she's indicating. Benny's face is so swollen that I can't really make out his eyes. His lips are the size of his fingers. At 350 pounds, everything about Benny is extra. His big fingers are now the size of D-alkaline batteries. "I'll get my bag," she nods to me to tend to him, "and be right back with something for your face." She eases Benny back onto his back. She walks swiftly out of the door, squelching dead spiders under her boots. "Am I going to die, Sybil?" he asks in a calm but slightly garbled voice. Friend though he is, Benny never calls me that on the job either. He must want to prepare himself for my answer. But I choose to be evasive because I don't know what to prepare him for or how to do it. "Why do you say that? It's just a bad cut and some bites." "It's like the pain is moving and I feel so heavy, full-like," he mumbles. His lips are swelling up even more. I squeeze his hand, now the size of a baguette, and lie. "Sophia will fix this." As I say it, his eyes are closing, and that smell from the bank wafts off him. Sophia trots back in, and I move out of her way. She looks directly into his face. "Benny, can you hear me?" He mutters something, but doesn't open his eyes. "It's going to be all right then. I'll take care of it." I resist the urge to shake my head because I don't believe her. He starts choking a little at first and then violently. "God, no, he's choking," she whispers to prevent Benny from hearing her. She moves over and prepares to give him a Heimlich. I grab her hands. Sophia, what's choking him? Benny doesn't have a lot of time, and Sophia doesn't seem to fully comprehend my question. His eyes begin bulging out of his face. Whether he can hear me or not, I bore my eyes into hers and tighten my grip. If you push out the air, what will come with it? I give her a few precious seconds to think about it. But she counters, he'll die if I don't do something. We can't release that whatever it is into the world, Sophia. If it makes you feel better about it, I'll make that an order. Let go, Captain Sybil Hardison, my sister hisses while attempting to free her hands. But I'm stronger than Sophia. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's clear-headed purpose. Whatever it is, I grip her hands as much as like a vice as I can. Morphine, I say. I see a tear roll down her cheek through the tears of my own. She snatches her hands from mine, but she doesn't attempt to help Benny. Instead, she nods slightly and gets off the operating table. She pulls a syringe from her medical bag and loads it up. Euthanize is a word, not something that you do to a friend, especially if you are a doctor. And Benny is our friend, a dinner companion, birthday party bud. Before that, he was under my command when we were in the Marines. In that capacity, I sent soldiers to their deaths and killed people and monsters. Sybil, bless her, was a doctor from birth. She saves human lives and kills monsters. She'd never send anyone on a suicide mission, would never ever kill a friend. I know that my baby sister can't handle this. I firmly take the needle from her and plunge it into Benny's jugular. Blood spurts, shoots up, and his choking stops, just like that. Sophia is crying softly as she labels a specimen bag. I sigh deeply for a few beats, and drop the needle into it. She places it in the storage unit. Now we wait with Benny. Death isn't fast or slow from what I've seen. It's like a missed beat. An unexpected breath doesn't come. A blink turns into a stare, and the eyes slide down. Then oblivion for the deceased. At least that's what I've seen and thought until Benny's death. The bloating lessens within minutes, but his breathing doesn't even slow, much less stop. Instead, long hair sprouts on his face. His body bolts into a sitting position, forcing Sophia and me to back up a few feet. Spiders the size of peanuts begin crawling over his lips. They tear slowly through his clothes and turn his hair and face into a jungle of wriggling tar. The Benny it springs from the table to the opposite corner of the room. It wobbles. The wound in its thigh closes up. 6 more legs spring out of its body, making an even 8. Its gait steadies. Hungry, it lisps. The voice is very much like Benny's, but clogged with mucus. The sides of its mouth open and close around fangs the size of straight razors. Its eyes are multiplied as well. Now there are 6 of them, open wide and unblinking. This thing can't be allowed to live and infect others. My mind goes back to dissecting spiders in Professor Cross's advanced biology class at the seminary. I mentally register where its vital organs are. Food, Benny? You want food? Don't call that thing Benny. Sophia shoots me a look as she takes out her sword. Then her eyes are glued to the Benny, not Benny thing. Hungry, it repeats. A scream ricochets into the room from the hallway. Immediately after that, another scream and another. Sophia gives me a questioning look. Go, I order. She runs full tilt, yanking the door open and racing through it. Get down, she shouts, pulling out her gun as she races toward the continuing screams down the hall. My attention hasn't really wavered from what's in front of me. The hair on his legs swishes as it creeps forward. That's it, freak. Come and get the food, I say, meaning me. As if distrusting my welcoming tone, the it stops and seems to consider my invitation. I cock my guns as quietly as I can. Decision made, the Benny thing's jaws snap and with a thick goo drizzles down its fangs. All the better to eat me with, eh, Benny? Hungry, the Benny thing yells and leaps from me. It happens so fast that it can't even scream. I pivot to the side and fire into its head and heart. The goo erupts from the body as it collides with the operating tables, the sinks, and finally rests in front of the morgue refrigeration unit. A nightmare of several minutes ends. I wait to see if the thing will move, but it doesn't. A sound above me catches my attention just as a breathless Sophia jogs back into the lab. It was one of those pandemic pups. It ran back into the building. The owner was scared it would be eaten by spiders, she updates me. She looks around the room at the disarray and finally at the mess on the floor. Benny didn't really have a chance, did he? No, I tell her. Oh, gospel. How are we going to tell his wife? That I don't know. Well, praise God, it's over. Is it? I point to the air vents in the ceiling. There are silken spider webs glistening on all of them. The end. And thank you for your patience.
So thank you, everybody.
thank
I
you.
need Mark because Mark is going to give us 2 trivia questions. Make them up. I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't tell him this, so he's
didn't
quite
tell him.
surprised. Oh. The prize is small. It's a booklight, and I have 2 of them, and we'll give them to whoever. 2 questions. Whoever gets them right.
So can we participate? I mean, we're like readers. Can we also?
No.
No, we can't participate. I just thought I would ask. I mean,
No,
it's not to ask
I just gave you free stuff.
I just want to know.
All right, so Mark, don't make them too hard. I know. We never ask Mark when we do readings any trivia questions because he knows everything about everything.
He's a whiz, yes.
Yeah, he's a whiz. Like you can ask him he'll stop 2 weird thing and he'll know it. Give me something simple. Come on your feet. You can do it. Something simple. Okay, what is a horror movie having to do with winter?
I got it. What kind of car was Christine?
Ooh, anybody?
What was the question?
Buick?
What kind
No,
of
what
car
kind of car was
Christine?
Was it
Stephen King's
Cadillac?
Christine?
What kind of car was it?
Firebird?
Wait.
What?
Firebird?
Firebird?
Thunderbird?
No, I don't think it was a Firebird. Right?
No.
Okay. That was an easy question, really?
I thought.
Okay. Give me a horror movie where the winter is a big theme. Come on, guys. You can do
Wait, say it again, I didn't hear
it. She got it. I said a horror movie where shining is a thing. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
didn't get it.
What movie starred Jeff Goldblum, who turns into
The Fly.
You almost had it. Who said it? Oh, well, I won't throw it. I'd only hit her. Okay, wait, we have some smaller gifts.
Oh, there's more?
Smaller, yes, we do this. Because I want you to know,
Food too. I want the
Yeah, Alf is the best. No, there's no food.
Alf is the broke one. All right, this is very simple.
Okay, I want that.
What movie is a horror film? I'm sorry, I'm going to do films because they're easier. Starring a nun in it. What is the name?
The Nun.
The Nun.
I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
Okay. You want to give me one? Or horror books, but I think movies will be easier.
Name the horror film that takes place in Georgetown
Oh.
with a possessed girl.
The Exorcist!
Who said it first? Okay, it's a tie
But I knew it.
between. There you go. All right, and let's make this one simple. What is the oldest horror movie? Earliest horror movie.
Nosferatu.
No Seratu.
No.
It's that,
Vampire?
it's a vampire.
Oh, with Paul Dreyer?
Come on, guys, you can do this.
Vampire.
1912 or something.
Yeah, vampire. Vampire or whatever.
No?
No?
No.
Okay.
Really?
Wait, in the U.S.? So
I-
much
I-
for being so.
The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. It doesn't matter, I've never seen it either. All right. Come on, give me something.
They have another answer.
Steven Spielberg's first horror film.
Ooh, that's a good one, I'm not
By
sure.
story by Richard Matheson.
Isn't it Salem's Lot?
Oh, really?
Demented Truck.
Oh,
No.
That's King.
Duel.
There it is.
there it is, who said it?
Duel.
Oh, excellent. See, we're gonna be playing baseball later. All right, and now, all right, just 2 more, and the rest I'll give out what I have here. All right. Is there any horror movie that takes place? Is there a horror movie that has no horror in it?
The Blairwood Project. Really? Okay.
This is all about and that's, for me, that's worse than everything.
All right,
Okay.
go ahead.
If I've got the name wrong, then somebody correct me. Louise Fleischer played a maid in the household of Mary Poppins. What horror film is she from? I probably said the wrong actress.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
No,
Throw over the cuckoo's nest?
That, yeah,
no,
but that's
and
not
I
hard.
got the wrong person. Never mind, forget it. I was thinking The Bride of Frankenstein, but I couldn't remember the actress's name.
Okay. All right, somebody give me a
I'll
question.
look it up.
Did you a question?
Yeah. That I won't know the answer
Okay,
to.
question to me? Yeah, that's a broad statement.
I know, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't like you calling me a bra.
Oh, I have one.
Okay, go
Who
ahead.
is the actress in The Fly?
Oh, come on, who doesn't know that? I'll give you a hint. She starred in the tour, not the tour. She starred in the. Oh crap!
It's Gina Davis.
Oh, it's Gina Davis.
Even I knew that.
Yeah,
Well, I
very
was
good.
trying to ask you.
All right, lastly but lastly.
Lovely.
What is going to be the coldest temperature this week?
Isn't it the 40 minus 8 or something?
-1.
Oh,
No,
negative 1.
no,
She's
but
right.
you're close. Come on, guys.
15.
12.
No, single digits.
0.
8.
I said 8.
What was?
8.
4. I said negative 8.
No, it's going to be
I said
5. Did anybody say 5?
No.
I said
All right, who
4.
said 4? You're close. There you go. All right, the rest I'll give out here, whatever I have left.
Oh.
All right, who's the big book reader here?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I got it.
Yeah. Book readers? Book readers?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. You were in a lifetime.
I'm a journal
Book
writer.
reader, book reader.
Yeah, them too.
This is the magnetic. This is what I have left. There you go. I have 3 left. All right, 1, 2, 3. There you go. Pass this to your friend.
Oh, they might have.
Yeah, they're magnets. They go on both sides of the page. There you go. And that is it.
Thank you, Al.
You're welcome. I don't want you to go without remembering you were here.
You warmed us up. See that? It's getting chillier. I do have a few refreshments downstairs. I got some pretzels and the usual wine if you want to.
Oh wait, wait! I have 3 more. 3 more. Who didn't get one? No,
Share
no.
over here.
Who didn't get one? Who didn't get one that wants one?
Over there. Thank you.
She did.
Did you get one? Amy? Like that?